Hello, how you doing? Welcome back. Thank you very much for everybody that suggested this video to be the first one that go up. And I really want to say thank you for love on my last video. I really appreciate it. In this video, I'm going to be telling you the reason why I joined the military. And I say why I joined the military because I was part of two branches of military. I joined the US Navy Force and then later on move on to US Army. And in between both, I was part of California Highway Patrol. Before we begin, I want to say if you're new here, welcome, of course. Thank you for watching. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel if you love what this channel is going to be about. Initially in this channel, I was doing a bunch of stuff that I love, but this time I am just coming back to YouTube. I want my YouTube videos to be about few things. About my natural hair, about my military journey. Now currently I'm in nursing school, about my nursing school journey. And I want to add something about home renovation. Is going to come in a form of DIY. If all this is your forte, I suggest that you subscribe so you can follow my life journey. Maybe you can inspire me, maybe I can inspire you. And just somewhere to be, to chill. There's not stress, right? So let's move on to the reason why I am doing this video, right? The reason why I put this camera up there and recording is the reason why I joined the military, right? Like I said, I joined the US Navy Force. And why did I join? Let's talk about the year that I joined. I joined in 1998, right? That year, I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to go study computer science. And I applied to the best university in Minnesota back then, in Minneapolis specifically. That is the best at that time because they have always been a college that is about technology. So I applied to Dunwoody College, is what it used to be called back then, 4-year college, but they changed their name now to Dunwoody School of Technology or something like that. So I applied there. I was accepted. I got my welcome letter, congratulations and all of that. And then it comes to let's pay. At first, for some reason, I thought my parents is going to be paying. I don't know what I'm thinking. I think in a Nigerian household, parents do everything. So I thought, okay, I'll pay and I'm going to get support. But then I was like, because since it's a private school, I'm going to apply for FAFSA. I applied for FAFSA, thinking I would get some type of help. But I was told the letter, back then they used to send a letter, not this email thing, right? They send a letter to me and then they said, oh, sorry, you do not qualify for any grant at all, but you do qualify for this loan, so. And I'm looking at the amount, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money. I don't like borrowing stuff. I just don't like it. Like if I cannot afford it, I don't want to do it, right? So I had a big issue with that loan. So I decided, no, I am not going to do it. I am just going to continue to work and then save money and then be able to pay for my school when I have it. So I decided to go back to community college. I was in community college taking some classes, but then I decided to take nursing assistant class so I can get certification on that, and hopefully I can get my LVN eventually. So when I'm doing that, I will get money and then I can afford to go to computer science school and get my degree like that. I was going to school, I was living my life, doing what I'm supposed to do, working, going to school and all of that. Then one day, recruiters have been working around the college. They wanted to recruit as many people as they can, right? Okay. So they have been there, but this summer, because normally when I see them, it was during winter. I just don't like the black thing that the Navy be wearing. I don't pay attention to them because I was like, you know what, that's normal. I need to stay focused, right? And then this day, I saw this recruiter wearing white, and for some reason, it looked like a shiny white in front of me, and I was like, he was trying to get my attention, and one of my other friends that were working, and I was just like, okay, I like this uniform. This is new. So I was like, oh, did you guys change your uniform? My dumb. But now I know, because of course that different uniform for different season. And he was like, no, we didn't change our uniform. This is summer. This is what we wear during summer. I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, oh, I can show you the other clothes that we wear. And he was flipping through some kind of thing, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And he's like, so what do you study? I told him that I'm doing this and that, and I told him about how I want to go to Dunwoody, and it's very expensive. And he's like, do you like to travel? I was like, yeah, I would like to get out of Minnesota and go somewhere else, somewhere very far away, somewhere very and he's like, oh, I got something for you. Do you know you can go to school for free in the Navy? And do you know after you do your obligation, you will get money to go to school after? It was talking about GI Bill. I was like, what? And he said, if you're in the Navy, you're going to travel a lot. I'm like, what? This guy is speaking my language. Let's do this. Like, I was like ready at that moment. Like, what do I do? But the guy said, let me get your information. At that time, I don't have a cell phone. I have a pager. Home phone for my parents' house and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm not about to give out any information about me. And he gave me his card instead. So my intention was to call the next day and just to talk to the recruiter. But I went to class. When I got home, I couldn't find the card. So the next day I was like, okay, I guess I'll see him when I go to school next week. But what happened was that weekend, I think it was on Sunday. Yes, it was on Sunday. A little bit past 10 at night, I was sitting watching TV. And then the advertisement come on, and it's about Blue Ship, just water. And it was like talking about the Navy, how cool it is. And at the end of it, how they're gonna pay for college, how you can go to college, and all of those. And in the bottom, at the end of it says, let the journey begins, and he put the number, 1-800 number. I wrote that thing down real quick. I was like, what? That's exactly what I want. We're gonna travel. I wrote the number down. So I couldn't wait until the next day to call the number, which I did. And then that was a central phone that you will call, and then they will, based on where you are at, they will give you information on that, and they will forward your information to that recruiting office that matches you based on which area. They asked me where, and they gave me information of the recruiter, of the office, the main office of the recruiting office there. So I wrote the number down and whatever. I didn't have enough time to call. The recruiter called me. So the recruiter called me, and we talked, and he said, come and meet. And I went in, I did what I need to do. He made me to take the pre-ASVAB. I took it, I did very well. He told me, because you already have college, you don't have to go in as E1 or E2, you're going to go in as E3. I was like, pretty cool. He told me about the difference between the pay, gave me the pay scale and all of that. I was like, this is pretty cool. And that kind of intrigued my interest. That was the third thing that intrigued my interest. We went to MEPS. I gave him my pager, of course, so that whenever he wanted to talk to me, he can just page me for anything whatsoever. So he would page me and I would talk to him. I would have to go over there. I'll go over there. I'll go to the office. So that's how I joined the Navy. My boot camp, it was in Great Lakes in Chicago. This is the picture of the last week of boot camp. We kind of have a little bit of freedom at that time, where we're able to go to the store and buy disposable camera. And this picture is from a disposable camera, by the way. So we graduated. I graduated from boot camp and then went to Pensacola, where my school is at. What I didn't tell you earlier was I didn't know what job to take. So if you look at the last picture, this picture right here, this picture right here, you will see that I only have like 3 stripes, but there's no job on top, because whatever is on top is what the job is. I knew that I want to do aviation, so I signed up for aviation in MEPS, you know. So, but I didn't know what job I want to do, so I was just a regular airman. So when I went to Pensacola, Florida, you would do all sort of aviation job all combined together, and then your basic job, and then eventually when you get to where you're going, they're going to post you to what you're going to need, and that's when you're going to choose your job. At that point, you're going to now train again. They call it enhanced job training, and then that's what you're going to do. So this is me graduating from Pensacola, Florida. I took this picture the day I graduated from Pensacola, Florida. After Pensacola, Florida, my first duty station was Japan in Yokosuka. Yokosuka. It was on USS Kidiok. I enjoyed Japan. I enjoy Japan. I enjoy myself. I picked my job. I changed my job. I worked at the catapult and arresting gear because it was a aircraft carrier. I worked on top of the flight deck. So that being said, after that, I moved on to other places. I went to California. In California is where I moved from island to the mainland. I just 32nd Street between that to the ship in California. So I kind of enjoyed California. My last duty station in the Navy was MEPS, Los Angeles. So it was very interesting. And during my Navy time, it's when the September 11 happened, and we were the first responder. Literally, we were in Darwin, Australia. We were in a hotel, and then suddenly we got a call. Like, say, you got to come back. We were watching it. We didn't even know what to do. But then that was when my reality that, bro, you were in the military. Anyway, that being said, crazy time. But then that's when the real deal begins. So it was pretty interesting, but I decided to discharge from the Navy. My term end. Instead of re-enlisting, I decided to just move on, because at that time I was in California. I fell in love with California Highway Patrol, right? I loved the uniform. I enjoyed the movie back then. So I was like, you know what? I started talking to recruiter a year before. I said I did all my background investigation. I was good. So I went in. Of course, I had to take a pay cut, because I was back in the second basic, pretty much boot camp. So we did all that. It wasn't for me, because Navy was not really sure what it's about. Neither CHP was I sure what it's about, really, other than the uniform and what it is, prestige and all of that. I didn't think too much about the main culture. So I decided I'm going to be going back in the military, so I can finish my years, so I can retire, right? Because I enjoy. At that point, I don't know nothing else. Civilian world for me was not what I expected. When I came back, I didn't know that I had changed a lot. So I went back to MEPS, Los Angeles, since that's where I worked for over 3 years before I left the Navy. So my commander was still there. So I I know the commander of every branches in there. So I just walked to my commander's office and I was like, oh, I want to come back. They were like, oh, you don't like CHP? No, I'm like, no, I can't do it. That's not for me. And then he said, just so you know, if you're going to come back, you're going to lose rank. I was like, ooh. And then if you know, because if your rank and your pay is the same. I mean, your rank and pay is synonymous, so I was like, okay, no. And he's like suggested to me that if you want, you can try other branches, but he knows right now that the Army will take prior service and still let them keep their prior rank and grade. I was like, oh, good. So I went to, he called the commander, the army commander, and then I went to his office and he talked to me and he just like, just go downstairs. And I went downstairs. They're all my friends anyway. So we were talking and I just got the number to one of the recruiter near my house for the Navy, and I talked to them. They're still my buddy because I worked there when I was pregnant for a little bit. And then they said they give me the number to the next door guy, because they're always together, like, right? So one of the best in there, but within a week of me resigning from the CHP, I was back in the army. So I signed all my paper and everything. And my first duty station that I went to when I finished my process joining the army was Korea. So I enjoyed that. I did all of that, and then I went back. I came back to the state side, where eventually went overseas with the family later and stuff. And that's how I went from joining the Navy to CHP, and then to now being retired over 20 years, almost 24, right? So I enjoy my military career, I really do. But then there's a lot of stories to be told, and there's a lot of things to be shared for knowledge of the people that are coming and that want to do it. It's a very noble job. It's a very good job. It's a sacrifice. Not sacrifice for you alone, but sacrifice from your family. I would never be able to do it as much as I did what I did if it wasn't for my husband, because that guy, man, he got it. He got it home. I'm going to put a picture right here. This is me just coming back from my first deployment, and you can see me holding a baby. That's just the way it is, right? That's how the military life is. You do not, mission is mission, right? But military take care of you. Military do what they got to do. So I love it. Will I advise anybody to do it? Oh, yes. I wouldn't even think about it. But before you go in, you need to know what you're doing, what you want, the kind of person that you are. And then you need, so you can keep true to yourself and don't lose yourself while you're there. What else do I want to say? I want to say, oh yeah, this is the picture that I took for my retirement. Yeah, one of the picture actually. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, why I joined the military video. I plan on following up. I'll create a schedule based on how I want to talk about the military. But remember, my channel is not only about the military. It's just because it's part of my life. I'm not coming to recruit or to do anything or to batch or to do whatever. It's just telling my story, really, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for being here. Please leave me a comment, question, or anything that you want to know specifically, and I will either make a video after replying you. And please like this video so it can help me know that I'm back on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for your suggestion. I think the next video is going to be the next highest vote will be. I think I'm just going to go from there, right? Thank you for your suggestion. Appreciate you. Love you. Bye. Mwah. Bye.